The night was cold, the kind that made the city feel like it was holding its breath. Detective Daniel Cross tightened his coat as he stepped into the penthouse of Julian Mercer, the biotech mogul whose life had come to a brutal end just hours ago. Blood pooled beneath his body, his throat slit with surgical precision. The scene was disturbingly clean. No forced entry, no signs of struggle, and not a single fingerprint. Yet, in a chilling final message, a sentence had been smeared across the hardwood floor in Mercer's own blood. The price of truth is death. Cross exchanged a glance with his partner, forensic specialist Olivia Reyes, who was already scanning. Something about the scene was too perfect, too calculated. The silence in the apartment felt deliberate, like whoever had done this wanted them to know they were in control. Their first real lead came when they traced Mercer's last phone call to an investigative journalist, Max Holloway. He had been digging into Mercer's past, specifically his involvement in a mysterious biotech operation known as Project Chimera. If there were answers, Holloway had them. But before they could speak to him, he was found slumped over a diner booth, his coffee laced with poison. Another loose end tied up before they could even pull the thread. Determined not to let the case slip through their fingers, Reyes decrypted Holloway's files. What they found sent a chill down their spines. Mercer had been a key figure in classified genetic experiments, modifying human DNA to enhance speed, reflexes, and even the ability to erase fingerprints. The perfect assassin. A breakthrough came when Reyes ran forensic tests on the blood found under Mercer's nails. The DNA was impossible. It had human markers but didn't match any known person in the global database. Someone had been altered beyond recognition. It led them to a long-disappeared scientist, Dr. Evelyn Kane, one of the original architects of Project Chimera. If anyone knew what Mercer had been hiding, it was her. Their search led them to an abandoned medical facility on the outskirts of the city, a relic of the project's dark past. Inside, dust-covered monitors flickered weakly, and in the cold storage room, they found something even more disturbing. A file labeled Subject 0. It detailed experiments that went beyond simple enhancement. These subjects had become something else, something not entirely human anymore. Before they could process the evidence, the facility's motion sensors triggered an alert. A shadow moved in the darkness, faster than any normal person should be able to. Within seconds, Cross was locked in a brutal fight, his opponent dodging every strike with unnatural precision. Reyes activated the thermal imaging on her visor, but the figure barely registered body heat. And then, just as suddenly as they appeared, they were gone. The pieces finally fell into place when they extracted a partial fingerprint from the lab's remains. Running it through high-tech forensic software, they got a match: Vincent Grayson, a former military operative who had vanished 5 years ago. But now, he was back. And he was unstoppable. Grayson had once been Mercer's personal security chief, and now he was the prime suspect in his murder. The detectives tracked him down, prepared for another fight, but instead, he did the unexpected. He surrendered. Sitting across from them in the interrogation room, His voice was calm, almost amused, as he leaned in and whispered, "You're playing a game you don't understand." The trial moved quickly. The evidence was stacked against Grayson. His DNA had been found at the scene, he had every motive, and the secret project's revelation sealed his fate. But just as the case seemed ready to close, the real nightmare began. Detective Cross was found dead in his apartment, killed the same way as Mercy. Hours later, Judge Eleanor Kingsley, the one who was set to deliver Grayson's final verdict, was discovered lifeless in her chambers, poisoned. And then, as if following a twisted script, Grayson himself was found dead in his cell, an apparent suicide. It was too clean, too orchestrated. Someone had silenced every major player in the case. Reyes, now the last one left standing, stared at the crime